Today on the race to March Madness, we're fueling up with full-throttle freshmen. K-State's Michael Beasley giving the Wildcats sharp claws in the Big 12.
I just love jumping on somebody's back and snatching the ball. Give me a rush sometimes.
Well, let's talk a little bit about freshmen here, as Michael Beasley is, as our colleague Dickie V likes to say, one of the great diaper dandies this year in college hoops. But what does K-State's Super Frosh like doing more than putting the ball in the hoop? Welcome back to the race to March Madness. When Kansas State knocked Kansas off its undefeated perch at the end of January, freshman Michael Beasley led the way for the Wildcats with 25 points. Now, that in and of itself wasn't really a shocker, considering Beasley's been a double-double beast most of the season. What was really impressive was that the 6'10 forward was 4 for 4 that day from beyond the arc. And it wasn't a fluke. How many big men can say that? Well, there's very little Beasley can't do, which is precisely why he's a front-runner for Player of the Year.
I like being the go-to guy. I like being the guy everybody wants to challenge. I like being the guy that everybody wants to knock off. The approach I take to the game is I'm the best on the court. And you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, and you can't beat me.
He comes in here every day and he prepares to get better. He cares about one thing and one thing only, and that's our team winning. He's not concerned with anything else. He's not concerned with his numbers. He's not concerned with what people think. He's concerned with us as a basketball team getting better and winning.
And that's all the room Beasley needs at 6'10". And tonight they've outplayed Kansas.
I got one big three-letter word on the top of my goal list, and that's win.
The Wildcats have ended the streak. They're rushing to 4, and it's over. Kansas State has upended Kansas 84-75.
Winning is tremendous, you know, it's the best feeling in the world.
A guy his size that can put it on the floor, shoot it, use either hand, you know, that's what you get. He's a guy that wants to get every rebound, you know, and he's not selfish.
I would rather be on a team averaging 6 points a game with consecutive championships than averaging 50 and no win.
Beasley with a monster dunk, and he's got 30.
Michael Beasley, freak of nature. Like, he do stuff that regular big man can't do. Like, he can shift the ball like a guard if somebody goes and try to block his shot. And he got a sweet jump shot. And he can pass, too. That's what people don't know about him.
Mike's best thing he does is he rebounds the basketball. He's an unbelievable rebounder. He's got strength, he's big, he's got great hands, and he's got an unbelievable ability to be able to find the ball as it comes off the rim and then go get it. You know, and he does that every time. He doesn't just rebound every once in a while. He rebounds all the time.
I just love jumping on somebody's back and snatching the ball. Like, it gives me a rush sometimes, you know, just jumping high as you can, just snatching the ball from 3 or 4 defenders, you know, that's cool to me. I just don't think about the NBA right now. I dream about it, you know, it's still a dream, it's still a fantasy.
He is a man amongst the boys.
I just take it day by day, especially in the course of a season. You know, we're trying to win games. We want championships. We want big wins like that. And I would be wrong to already place myself on another team. Get there someday, but in the near future, I just don't see it.
Take it to the hole. Oh, a sneak move.
That might sound like a vanilla kind of answer, but it's the truth. He's interested in continuing to get better. Anybody that asks him, he'll tell you, he goes, hey, I just want to be an 18-year-old kid right now.
You know what I love? I love Beasley's passion for rebounding, because you so rarely hear that. He leads the nation on the boards, top 5 in scoring, and it really is conceivable that he could follow in the footsteps of his former AAU teammate Kevin Durant, who was Player of the Year last year as a freshman for Texas, went #2 to the Sonics. Do you think it's fair to compare those two players?
Oh, I think you certainly can compare them, Bonnie. The fact is, each was the best player in the country as a freshman, which is really impressive. And I think the thing about Beasley that gives him a little bit of an edge, in my mind, over Durant, is that he's such an awesome rebounder. Scorers are born, rebounders are made. You got to want it, you got to go get it. And that's what really is impressive about Beasley as far as I'm concerned.
I think it's a little unfair because they honestly don't play the same position. I mean, Kevin Durant is maybe a better version eventually of Tracy McGrady, whereas when you watch Michael Beasley play, he's a newer and I think better version of a Derek Coleman. I think he's actually a better defensive player than Derek Coleman ever was. That's not really saying that much. But the inside scoring, the ability to step out, hit the perimeter three, I think just based upon position that they play, it's difficult to compare stats because their styles and their positions are so very different.
For as much as we talk about Beasley, the guy who sort of flies under the radar on this team is the other freshman forward, Billy Walker. Between those two, Tom, Frank Martin was hired, first-time head coach. Nobody really knew what was going to happen. How did those two players really help keep K-State on the map?
Well, they did it with their tremendous ability. What Frank Martin did, Bonnie, what I think was tremendous, he never got shook. They lost to Notre Dame early, they lost to George Mason. He kept his composure, got his ship righted, and that's a mark of a good coach.
He also moved Billy Walker to the power forward position. Walker wants to be a 3 for the NBA, but he's a 4 right now in college. I think that's changed their team forever. They beat Kansas at home for the first time in 25 years. That'll solidify you when you're a first-time head coach. You beat a team for the first time as your in-state rival in a quarter century. Amazing stuff at K-State.
It would have solidified them more if they could have won the game after the Kansas.
Fair point.
But that anyway. All right, time for Full Court Press. Which freshman is most prepared for the NBA right now?
Hands down, Kevin Love. Complete player, ready to jump.
Complete player, but maybe not the athlete of a Michael Beasley, who's also a complete player, does it offensively, inside, outside, block shots. I think Beasley, he'll be the #1 overall pick.
All right, final. Question number 3. We have talked so much during the year about the strength of the freshman class. Today, if you had to pick a freshman of the year, who would it be?
I like Love from UCLA. He just does so much, and he's just so valuable to that team.
Michael Beasley, because without Michael Beasley, K-State's not relevant.
K-State goes as Beasley goes. All right, well, that's a wrap for this edition of Race to March Madness.